This is a phenomenal bike ride, and I can tell you he's so casual. This is his first time he's ever biked the full 112 miles here in Hawaii. He's never been up to the turn in Harvey. He's certainly been up there today. Doesn't he look...
We're having breakfast with Bob, 'cause I'm having breakfast with Bob, and we're having breakfast with Bob in St. George, Utah.
Poncho Man, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast with Bob, St. George edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Master Spa, Zion's Bank, Quintana Roo, Form Smart Swim Goggles, Clash Endurance, Premium Plus Sports, and of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation, one of my favorite people on the planet. Rach McBride joins us. Rach, it is such a treat to get to chat with you. We don't get to do this often enough.
No, never.
How you doing?
I'm doing really well. Yeah. Excited to be here.
Well, if there's a course that has your name on it, I think this is one of them, right? It is hard from the start, right?
Yeah.
The swim could be choppy.
Yep.
The bike ride, 7,000 feet of climbing,
Yep.
and then 1,500 feet in the run.
Yep.
You like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the harder the better. I mean, this course is relentless, and I am really excited that I have been able to be here for the past 2 weeks, train on the course, check out every single inch of it, so I know what to expect. I know just how challenging it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those races that you have to be patient all day long.
Very patient.
Right.
Very
you make
patient.
a move early, and then you're coming up through Snow Canyon later, and
Yeah.
you will pay.
You're like, oh, shoot.
That was a mistake.
Yep.
That was a mistake. So I love the fact that you didn't get into this stuff. You've been racing since 2011, but you didn't run until, when did you start running? Like pretty late, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like an adult athlete, so I started running in 2004. I just thought I wanted to run a marathon.
Yeah.
So I just started doing that and then got into triathlon, and it totally took over my life.
It did take over your life.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, again, you've been racing, and you're 43 years old.
Yeah, 44 now.
44 now.
Yeah.
That's got to be fun when you go to the start line and there's all these young kids out there.
Yeah. It's really awesome, especially there are so many of us now who are in our 40s who are racing. And so I feel like it's this little like over 40 club, and we're still kicking ass. And
yes, you
it's
are.
very, very cool.
So 2021, 8th at Chattanooga, 11th at Challenge Roth. Did you love Challenge Roth?
Oh, Roth is incredible. Yeah, it is just such a unique, wonderful race.
People don't quite understand that you're swimming in a river with hot air balloons floating above you with symphony music, followed by a ride where, of course, in 2021 you couldn't have the crowds, but normally when you go up Solar Hill, there's 50,000 crazy German people on that hill.
Yeah.
And there's 14 hotel rooms in that city.
Yeah.
And there's 250,000 people on the course.
Yeah.
It's a crazy place.
Yeah.
And then the run.
Yeah.
Right? You run along, and there's a mile, the beer mile, where there's on each side of the road there's people
beer
drinking beer,
and everything,
and then they build a stadium that's basically a grass lot 5 days before, and they build a stadium 5 to 10,000 people screaming as you come in.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, I think it's one of the best races in the world. To be honest, it is just the town support, the community support, the family that puts it on. They are just incredible people. Yeah.
And it'll be back this year full bore with all the crazies.
Yeah.
That's going to be great.
Yeah.
And 6th Ironman Coeur d'Alene, which was maybe 1 million degrees.
It was about 1.5 million degrees.
Yeah. But you seem to like the tougher conditions. You could sort of suffer well. Yeah,
I mean, I do love to suffer. I think that I race with a lot of grit. And for me, it's like as long as I can still put one foot in front of the other, I'm making it to that finish line.
Right.
No matter what state I'm in. So I haven't been pulled off a course yet. I don't want to be pulled off a course. But I mean, last year was a bit of a challenging year. I had some weird things going on in my nutrition and strange happenings.
Bodies change, right? And and the way you adapt to this nutrition worked for me in 2015, 16, 17, but it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
totally
exactly.
Changes.
Yeah, it's weird.
Now, how are you adapting? Because you've gotten into gravel big time.
Yeah, apparently I'm doing a lot of bike racing this year.
And you're loving the gravel.
I love it. I've done a lot of my training in the past couple of years on the bike, even for Ironman, on gravel. And it's just, I find it safer. I find it a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
You get to go and explore like remote places of where you live or where you're exploring. So, yeah.
What's great about that is, one, it's like you said, it's safer, and it certainly translates because it's hard.
Yeah.
Every pedal stroke you take is you're working hard. So you get on the time trial bike and it probably feels easy.
Oh yeah, you feel like you're flying, absolutely flying. Yeah, I mean, I started racing gravel in 2013, and the first race that I ever did, it was one of the hardest things I'd ever done.
Right.
And I was like, this is crazy, and it's amazing.
When you look back at all the racing you've done, going back to 2011 when you're 11th 70.3 World, you've been racing a lot of years. What do you look back at a couple races as your best ever? And we can define best as they meant the most to you. Doesn't that mean a win?
Yeah. Gosh, how do I narrow it down? I've had so many incredible experiences racing, and I think for in terms of triathlon, I would say one of the most special races for me was Ironman South Africa. I forget, I think it was 2018. Yeah, 2018. I was down there with my brother, and it's a really unique experience for me. My brother and I don't really get to travel together anymore because he's got kids and a job, and we got to spend 2 weeks together in South Africa, and that was really special. And it was a fantastic race for me.
Yeah, you're at fourth, right?
Yeah.
Fourth there, and that was a good year, right?
Yeah.
Ironman Germany, you were sixth, second at Mount Tremblant, 70.3, first at Victoria.
Yeah. And so, that was an incredible year. I had my third 70.3 win at the age of 40. I raced Ironman Frankfurt with food poisoning and still finished sixth.
Yeah.
So that was it was pretty incredible year.
Well, and I always look at folks, Mount Tremblant is a challenging bike ride. Lanzarote is crazy challenging.
Oh, yeah.
So those transfer to this. This race. If you've done well in those races, you know how to be patient and wait and understand that the course is brutal and there's payback along the way.
Look at the fans behind you out there. Look at.
Oh.
Purple, look at you. She's got fans out there. I love that. Rach, that is awesome. That is so cool. Purple Tiger fans are everywhere.
Oh, I know. Full disclosure, those are my training partners.
You paid them.
No, they did this themselves. Oh, Bob, you got one too.
Hi, Bob. Look I got fans here too. I feel like I'm doing Saturday college game day. Look at that. We got this stuff going on. So, what are the goals for this race?
You know what? My prep for this race has been less than ideal. I had dental surgery earlier this year, and then which had me take a week off, and then I actually bruised my patella mountain biking, and so that took me out for a really long time. So I am just so grateful to be hitting this start line. I'm so grateful to just be here. And my goal is to hopefully have one of the smartest races that I have ever had.
And this is one of those courses that is really being smart and not, because you burn matches early, you're done.
You're done.
You have to be so cautious, especially if the swim is victory at sea like.
Yeah.
It will be a game changer. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm glad I've swum in pretty serious conditions before.
Yes.
I think it was 2013 or 2014 Oklahoma City ITU Worlds.
Yep.
It was insane. I have never swum in the conditions like that before, so I'm like, if I can get through that, this is really similar.
When did you realize that the bike was your ticket? Because you've set a number of bike course records at these races. Was there all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, the bike is my thing?
Yeah. It was actually when I first started triathlon, and early on I got a stress fracture, one of 4 or 5 that I have had
really?
in my feet. Yep. And so my coach at the time, I was racing like ITU, draft legal.
Right.
And he's like, oh, you should just jump in some local bike races. And one of the first races I did, it was a 3-day stage race, and I ended up winning the first stage. And
the other girls had no idea.
Yeah, no. And then another crit, I like lapped the field. And so it was that year, I think it was 2007 or 2008 that I was like, oh, I think I have a bit of a talent on the bike. And so, yeah, it's just been, that was a big confidence boost for me. And then when I got into long course, of course, it turned into a bit of a superpower.
It definitely is a superpower,
Yeah.
especially with these type of courses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I think people, now, have you been doing a training camp? You've been here 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah. Yeah.
Is that the longest you've been at a race, like ahead of time?
Let's see. Yeah, I think just about. Yeah. I was in Lanzarote 2 weeks before that race, but
Yes.
I was healing a very damaged arm from crashing in a race the 2 weeks
You've
prior.
had stress fractures,
Oh, yeah.
crashes.
You name it.
You've had it all.
You know, my sport doc calls me his medical textbook. Because you name it, it's happened to me.
So where did Purple Tiger come from? When did the genesis there?
I mean, Purple Tiger for me is when I was a teenager, I had like tiger striped hair. And in Germany, this little kid, I was walking by him and he said, "Guck mal, Mutti, eine Tigertante," because it was in Berlin.
Yeah.
And which means, "Look, Mom, a tiger lady." And so that nickname just kind of stuck because it's a bit of a cute Tigertante, kind of a cute nickname. So the tiger thing came from there. And then purple's my favorite color. And I think when I started racing pro, I shaved my head back into a mohawk and dyed it purple and kind of just came.
You want to stand out a little bit.
I just like being colorful and creative. I just feel like this is me. This is how I like to
Yes.
express myself. And
Doing some of the gravel races,
Yeah.
do you feel, because you've been in the sport for a while, that there's a casual atmosphere a little
Yeah.
bit to that sort of reminds you of Wildflower and some of
Yep.
the triathlons from way back?
Yep.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I loved about when I started racing gravel. You get your free beer at the end, a free meal, and it's like you celebrating everyone who's coming across the finish line.
Yeah.
And it's just so hard and so tough, and you're like dirty. And yeah, I love the atmosphere. I love, it is obviously like really growing, and being part of the Lifetime Grand Prix this year, which is a
Yes.
really big deal.
$250,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And I think USA Triathlon is doing a gravel series as well.
Yep.
Gravel triathlon.
Yep. Yeah. And UCI is now put in on gravel series as well. Yeah.
It's growing.
Yeah. Actually, Bob, I brought you
What's this?
a little, it's my trading card from the Lifetime Grand Prix.
Oh, they did
Got
trading
some
cards.
nice,
I
like,
love
fun
all
purple
little facts
tiger
on the
facts
back.
on the back. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I love that. Rach McBride has been our guest, everybody. Poncho Man, take us out. Thank you, Rach.
We're having breakfast with Bob. And we're having breakfast with the Purple Tiger. Because we're having breakfast with Bob in St. George, Utah.
Poncho Man, thanks everybody. Day 2, Breakfast with Bob. Hold on. We will be right back.